You ever have one of those stories that still makes your blood boil, even years later? Yeah, this one belongs to my buddy Ryan. He told me about it one night over beers, and even though it happened more than 5 years ago, every time he brings it up, I can feel the anger in his voice. The guy worked at this huge amusement park when he was 17, the kind of place that smells like popcorn, sunscreen, and teenage overconfidence. And what happened to him? It's a masterclass in corporate stupidity and a little poetic revenge. So picture this. Ryan was one of those responsible kids you actually trusted at work. He was quick, level-headed, never the type to slack off. He worked at this big family rod. You know, one of those spinning, screaming, hold-on-to-your-hat types? The kind that needs at least 3 people to run safely. One at the control booth, one at the gate, and one at the exit. They used radios to communicate because the exit was out of sight from the control booth. But they also had backup hand signals, like a secret language, just in case the radios went down. And believe me, those signals weren't optional. That summer alone, 3 newbies had already messed up big time. Twice, they started the ride with another employee still inside the fence, and once with an actual guest. You can imagine how bad that was. Upper management had panic attacks for weeks after that one. Now, Ryan's team leader, let's call him Mark, was this college intern who clearly thought leadership meant sitting in the air-conditioned booth and watching everyone else sweat. Mark was lazy, plain and simple. Nice enough to your face, but the moment something went wrong, you could practically see the bus coming before he threw you under it. One scorching summer day, the park was packed. 5 of them were running the ride, and everything was chaos. People screaming, music blasting, kids dropping ice cream. Mark gets called over to another ride to help out. No big deal, it happens sometimes. An hour passes, someone's shift ends, and Mark still isn't back. Ryan calls the other ride to ask for him. They say he's still here, we'll send someone over. And instead of Mark, they send another random guy, not even from their team. Weird, but whatever. Another hour later, it happens again. Another teammate's shift ends, no Mark in sight. Ryan calls again. All the radios are dying at this point. Batteries low, static everywhere. So he takes the initiative, grabs the radios, and runs to the office to get fresh batteries. He's gone less than 10 minutes. The others switch to hand signals like they were trained. Perfectly fine. When Ryan comes back, surprise, surprise, it's still not Mark at the controls. They send some guy from the roller coaster team instead. Let's call him Jason. Jason hadn't run this ride in over a month, but Ryan, being the responsible one, gives him a quick rundown of the controls. All right, man, don't overthink it. Keep your eyes on the camera, follow my lead, and if anything looks off, hit the E-stop. Jason nods, got it. Ryan turns around for maybe half a minute, 30 seconds tops, when he hears it. A shout, then another. He spins back around and his stomach drops. The ride is 3 feet off the ground and the entrance guy is inside the fenced area. Jason's face goes pale, but thank God he slams the E-stop. The ride jerks to a halt. Nobody's hurt. But that, my friend, was the start of a nightmare. Management comes flying in like it's a crime scene. And who suddenly appears, huffing and puffing, pretending he cares? You guessed it, Mark. They start pulling everyone aside, asking questions like they're FBI agents. Then they huddle together, whispering for half an hour. Finally, they come back with their decision. They fire Jason on the spot, just like that. Gone. Then they tell the rest of the crew they're being reassigned, basically demoted, for safety reasons. Ryan tries to speak up. This isn't fair. Jason shouldn't have been there in the first place. Mark was supposed to be here. But Mark, oh no, Mark tells them Ryan was acting in charge and removed communication equipment from the ride area. You know, because he took the radios to get new batteries. Corporate logic. Unmatched. Ryan tries to explain, that happened after I brought them back. Didn't matter. They didn't care. They just wanted someone to blame. They even shoved a report in his face to sign, admitting fault. He refused, flat out. He said, I'm not signing something that's a lie. They didn't like that one bit. So what do? They come up with a brand new rule, clearly just to punish him. If a single radio's battery dies, they said, you must shut down the entire ride. Until a manager brings you a new one? No exceptions? No using hand signals? And if you think that sounds insane, you'd be right. Managers are always running around doing a million things. If you called one for something small, you might as well wait for Christmas. Ryan just looked at the paper, smiled, and said nothing. But that smile, oh man, that was the beginning of his revenge. The next day he's back at work. It's hot, crowded, and his radio starts beeping. Low battery. He calls the manager, following the new rule. Half an hour passes. No manager. He calls again. 10 more minutes. Radio dies. So he does exactly what the new rule says. He shuts it down. The line is massive, easily over an hour wait, and people are furious. What do you mean it's closed? We've been waiting forever. Ryan shrugs, deadpan. Sorry, folks. Can't run it. Radio's dead. Someone laughs like it's a joke, but he keeps a straight face. No, really. Park policy. No radio, no ride. The crowd starts murmuring. Someone yells, "That's ridiculous!" He just nods. Yeah, tell management that. When the manager finally shows up, sweating and out of breath, Ryan flashes a grin. Here's your dead battery, boss. Got a fresh one? The manager doesn't say a word. Hands him the battery, walks away. But here's the best part. It didn't happen just once. Ryan did this every time a radio even looked like it was dying. 5 minutes of low battery, boom, ride closed. And every time, a line of angry guests marched straight to the guest services booth to complain. It didn't take long. Within a week, management quietly revised the rule. Suddenly, hand signals were totally fine again. No memo, no meeting, just poof, gone. Ryan never signed that bogus paperwork. 2 weeks later, he left for college. And guess who he ran into there? Yeah, Mark. He said Mark just gave him this awkward nod across the quad like nothing ever happened. Ryan smiled back, just not the friendly kind. Keep walking, buddy. You're lucky I didn't work in your dorm's maintenance. The following summer, the park called Ryan again, offered him a job back as a lead. This time, he was the one training others, and he actually did the job right. When he told me that part, he leaned back, smirked, and said, "Best feeling ever, man. Doing my job and knowing Mark's somewhere filling soda machines." I swear, every time he tells that story, I can feel the mix of pride and fury. And honestly, I don't blame him. It's the perfect example of how sometimes the best revenge isn't yelling or fighting. It's following their stupid rules so perfectly that they trip over their own incompetence. If you've ever worked under a lazy manager or had to deal with corporate nonsense like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And hey, if you made it this far, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button because trust me, I've got way more stories like this one. Some funny, some frustrating. All real. Stick around. Next time I'll tell you about the coworker who tried to fake an injury and accidentally confessed on camera.